I've discussed this with, up till now, about 12 scholars that I respect in the UK, and all of them have unanimously said that they've not felt part of the conversation over the definition of Islamophobia, and that also they do not agree with the definition as proposed by the all-party governmental group on Islamophobia, which published this report in 2019, which I think, for me, as a Muslim scholar, is actually shocking, because we're talking about Islamophobia. So obviously, November marks Islamophobia Awareness Month. And there's, of course, lots of events taking place up and down the country. The rise in anti-Muslim sentiment, I think it's pretty clear that it's on the rise across the West, whether it's in America, whether it's in Europe. Also, let's not forget India, let's not forget the Rohingya minority as well, the Uyghur minority in China as well. Now, 56 or so % of British people consider Islam to be an existential threat to the British way of life. Indicates there's a very deep problem. And if you've also got, 1 in 2, I believe, of Muslims, polled by Radio 4, said that, Islamophobia makes it very, very difficult for people to make themselves feel Muslim in this country. So identity is a massive, massive problem as well. So these issues around external hatred, and then the flip side of that is people questioning their identity, means that Muslims are now in a situation where they are almost saying, let's play the victim card. And unfortunately, this discussion around Islamophobia, its definition and what it means, is something I feel has not really taken place. Even though people say, well, it's done and signed and the ink is dried. No, I think we need to really understand, so that we don't go down this rabbit's hole, that we understand exactly what we're getting ourselves in for, which is why this course, Islam in the West, one of the major components of it is to look at everything around Islamophobia, its definition, its articulation, its history, the underlying reasons for it, and the benefits of adopting certain definitions, and also what effect that will that have on our religious identity, which for me is probably the most important thing that I want to focus on. It's going to be an interesting discussion, because if you're a thinking person, which hopefully you are, it's a thinking person's course. The fact that there's so much hate crime and there's so much legislation on this topic and we're not using it, and therefore we need to essentially go back and think about this really, really clearly, inshallah. So the course starting in November is going to really unpack every single thing you want to know about Islamophobia, every single religious aspect of it, every single religious framing of it, which I think is a missing discussion. I think definitely join me for the course. Assalamu alaikum.